up guys, what's going on? Welcome back to York City. It's been a goal fest since we last met. I say goal fest, there's been two very big scoring games and then a bunch of sort of normal ones in between. Of course, last time we met was the big 5-1 against Oxford. You can see that today we're going to lead off with the FA Cup 4th round against Huddersfield, a Yorkshire derby. So that was a nice draw in that sense. They are in the Championship, they're 6th. They got relegated 2 seasons ago from the Premier League, so they did pop back up again very briefly. But they're back again in the Championship. Interesting team news. It seems they've made a couple of January acquisitions already in the form of Kieran Trippier and Reece Oxford. Football Manager. Can't say much else about it. But scores in between since then and now. Lincoln, first at the time. 5-0 home victory against Lincoln. That was a huge result, of course. 3 goals for Hugh King against Oxford, 2 goals against Lincoln. 5 in 2 games for him, then Leetau, Dean and Genie with the other ones. Lincoln put in an offer for Genie. I bumped it up a bit, thinking they'd go, nah, they accepted it. And then he rejected the contract, so thank God for that in the end, because he's actually doing okay this season. Then an incredibly, considering Lincoln were top and we beat them 5-0, and Gillingham were bottom, beating them 1-0 was a little weird following that result. Admittedly, yeah, we did go a little bit. We didn't even really go that second strength, if I'm honest. Sergi was in the team and he scored the goal. That's really the only. Ebbers back, I guess, a little bit. That's the only kind of lessening as such. Of course, Vokins was injured last episode, so he was just returning to fitness at that point as well. So that was an enforced weakening rather than a deliberate one. But he did come on during that match, 2-0 against Forest Green. It took us a while, but Hugh King with 2 more. 7 goals in 4 starts. I can't remember if he started against Gillingham or not. Yeah, 7 goals in 4 games for him. That's a pretty good run. So inevitably, of course, he was injured in just after the Sunderland match. In fact, he didn't score in this one, but Leetau did. And, 2 goals in 2 injury times. 1-0 away at Sunderland. Sunderland are a decent team. They're just underperforming, shockingly. So, yeah. 1-1 there, drop points, but it's the first time we've dropped points in 6 games at that point. And then we got somewhat FM'd by Manchester United's under-23s. But at the same time, we didn't really put in a good performance. You could sort of tell where Hugh King got injured because it's the game we didn't score a goal in. Admittedly, I did weaken the team somewhat. Medina's played in a couple of these. Actually, because I need to talk about Medina, actually, I've just remembered. He's been subject to Premier League bidding. Now, I've turned all these bids down and he's not got angry at it, which I'm super pleased by. He's signed a new contract. He's here till 2 more years, bare minimum, and that seems to have put a stop to that. But those bids were going up to 4 million. I nearly accepted them, but if they're bidding 4 million, then there's a reason for that. So, started playing him a little bit as well, just to maybe placate him, but he seemed to be fine. He said, whenever their bid came in, he said, he's got a slight interest in joining a Premier League side, which is better than, please, 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 can I? Please, 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 can I? I'll hate you if I don't kind of mentality. So keeping him around. At this point, not good enough for the first team realistically, but if he gets a bit more game time, that's the reason there, the potential ability, I'd imagine. Yeah, that potential ability was there when we signed him for free. So, admittedly, any money for him would have been good, but considering we could get promoted to the Championship at the end of this season, he might develop into a player that can definitely be with us in the long term. So I'm kind of looking to keep hold of him for that reason. And that reason alone. And then 6-1, Gillingham. So, South with 2, Vokins with 1, a penalty. I probably should have let South take that one. He doesn't have the greatest penalty taken, but then again, none of our strikers do. But he scored 2 of his own regard, so he's off the mark for us now as well. And Sabaro with 3 goals. Their goal was stupid. Dutra ran out to the corner flag to try and get a ball, messed it up, and they scored as a result of that, basically. But I'm going to show you one of the goals. Oh, that was their only shot on target as well. Because, obviously, I'm just going to show you what a way to mark your first goal for the club. Lloyd South. His first couple of appearances weren't really anything to shout home about, write home about. This, though, bang! In it goes. Edge of the box. Nicely done. That's how you do it. Superb finish. So, of course, this is on the old telly box. £72,000 for this. Oh! Worth mentioning, we have had an outbound transfer, which has put a little bit of money in the coffers. That outbound is Tony Sharrock. He took a big injury, so we recalled him from his loan at the start of this season. This all came about because of something I realised I was missing. And I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, they put in a bid of £775,000 over, with bits and pieces involved in all that. But it was at least £500,000 up front. And it was accepted without my knowledge. And it was put through completely without any of my interaction. I didn't get any say in it whatsoever. So off he goes. And we've got £775,000 probably in the long run. I'm not quite sure how it all fitted in here. But he's gone off to Burnley. And considering he was leaving on a free transfer at the end of the year, that's basically a free £500,000 at the very least. This all came about because I realised I was missing something. Kind of noticed that all of my bench players had no kind of match fitness. I was thinking, why are they not getting games? What's happening here? I realised it's because I don't have an under-23s yet. I played all the way through here, not realising I didn't have an under-23s. Put it in to the board, and he said, yeah, we should have an under-23s. So we now have an under-23s. It's being managed by Andrew Sermon of Bournemouth. Well, former Bournemouth now, but yeah, so now there's players getting fitness via the under-23s at the very least. So we've got that going for us. Now, Huddersfield, here we are. Now, depending on how this goes, this may be a 1 or 2 match episode, but South is cup tied because obviously we recalled him from his loan. But the good news is Hugh King is available. He took, obviously, like I said, a knock, but he is now back again, which is great news, which means we can go basically entirely full strength. Gardner Hickman, not full match sharpness, but we'll deal with it, basically. I'm not sure at this stage if there's a replay. I think there still is. So there's no real need to pack it with potential penalty takers. Yeah, so we actually got to go entirely full strength. Now, there is one other deal I need to talk about, and that is Richie Dean has been subjected to a big bid from Fulham. I told him I kept telling him that he has a release clause of 1.8 million. They got up to 1.6 with add-ons and stuff. So I declined it. I'm not sure if he's going to come to me and say, I want to move, because he was a little bit more wanting of the move than Medina was. But I'll just tell him, basically, you've got a release clause. If they meet it, they can. They came within £200,000, basically, in the long run, in the total of it. But I think if they come back again, he might end up going for that. But that's 1.8 million. Oh, the team for this, by the way, is, like I said, the full first team. Dutra, Vokins, Borges, Edgar, Clark. I've already covered his potential leaving at the end of the season by getting a player in whose contract's up in 6 months' time. I will bring you that later on if there's time. Dean, Nassel, Sabara in the middle, Gardner Hickman, Leetau, and King. Yeah, we obviously had that issue with Clark's contract negotiations not going particularly well for a new contract, so he might end up leaving, and thankfully that's all sorted now, if he does, because we've got another right back coming in from the British Isles, so I'm not sure if they will have homegrown status or not. At the very least, the player coming in is 18, so if he spends 3 years here, he'll get that homegrown status anyway. And 3 minutes in, Borges has scored from a corner. Now, we've been scoring a fair few corners in that very particular fashion. Dean's had 2 of those in recent times. Just that exact penalty, that exact corner. Whips it in, sort of nearish post. Dean, bang. You can actually see Dean there on the near post. It's normally him drifting backwards rather than Borges coming in. But there we go, 1-0. You may have seen, of course, on the scheduling page that Huddersfield are only very slight favourites despite being away and 6th in the Championship. We are obviously banging form in terms of the league, which is, I think, the only thing they kind of factor into that kind of deal. Sergio gathers that sort of tamish header, so there's more to this highlight than just that. Nassel unleashes, or I was about to say unleashes Vokins. He does have work to do here. Does it? King, if he can pull it back, not quite. Bawanga now for them. And this is good. Oh, he's got pinched by Sabara. It could be 2. Not quite. Not quite. This corner won't come to anything, of course, because it started with a highlight. So here we go. Vokins now over this one. Mounier. Oh, God. Still at Huddersfield. Mounier. Charging. Stop charging. Tackle. Dispossessed. Wing now. Ironically, looks to be a defender. A defensive midfielder. Schindler, Bawanga, out to Daly. This is looking a little dangerous. I don't like it. Oh, no, it's pinged off Clark. And, well, Leetau's unleashed King down here. He's a bit of a wide angle, so this probably isn't going in. There we are. He's going to get back on it, though. And Gardner Hickman, open goal, basically. 2-0. King's reflexes to gather that loose ball, though. Brilliant work here. I mean, this was never going to go in from here. But the speed and the reactions of King there, giving that to Gardner Hickman just to tap into that open goal. Well played indeed. And Gardner Hickman's first goal. since he returned from that massive injury earlier. Well, that's dribbled in. I knew you said dribbled in, and it wasn't dribbled in, but you know what I mean. Trickled in, I think the term I was looking for there. Yeah, it's sort of Sergio. I'm not sure if Sergio's flapped it or it's just he said an awkward header. It was an awkward save and it's bounced in 2-1. Are we the only game playing right now? Must be. They got moved because of a television. Yeah, we're the early kickoff. Things are going well. You're capable even better. I'm not. I mean, they're in the players of the league above. Although, gotta say, this is our first championship test since we've had this squad. Obviously, we had to face off against Southampton, and that didn't go too particularly great in the Carabao Cup. The Barrow now, though. But yeah, this is a championship test, and if we do get promoted, obviously these are the teams that we'll be facing. Pukin scored, it's 3-1. These are the teams that we would be facing, of course, provided Huddersfield don't go up via the playoffs at this point. But at the very least, this is the calibre of team. Dean, though, across the Sabara here, and this is a great ball through to Lee Tao at the first point. Schindler fluffs it, and King capitalises again. His instincts, since he started scoring, have been incredible. And it's another goal for him. 8 now for the season, I think that is. Probably popped up and I completely ignored it, but most importantly, that's 8 goals since December the 30th, which is an impressive haul now. If only he'd been scoring like that before. Nearly 4. Nearly 4. Lee Towns on a 6.6 despite this 3-1. Well, thank you for that. Oh, it's another foot injury. Well, Vokins is probably going to be out for another long while. I kind of wanted to take Clark off because he's the only booking, but now I can't do that. Technically I can because Dean can play there, but I'm not going to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. Schindler. We've done this entire thing on balance, by the way, just in case that wasn't obvious. Carlos. Back to their goalkeeper. King charges him down, forces him into that actually very good punt up the field to Boanga on this left-hand side. It's moved all the way back to their defenders again, though. They do have Alfie Mawson in defence. Meunier is good ball through, actually. Excellent defending, but I'm not sure if that highlight was the defence rather than that final shot in the end, because that was an excellent block by Clark in the end. Oh, good. Dean's taken a knock. That's exactly what we needed. We do have Jajale for this. And, Lee Tao's not had the best of games, so Ebersbach comes in. I would like Ebersbach to maybe start doing something, otherwise we may look to move him on in the... He's never really lived up to what we wanted from him. But then again, neither did Genie until this year, so... And we brought him in, what was it, last January, wasn't it? But anyway, Shao, well, it's got to injury time in this second half without any further incident. And with a 2-goal cushion at this point, Shao Nan's just... Okay. Nearly a great goal from Shao Nan. Still 5 minutes of injury time. Stranger things have happened. Callum Slattery. Am I going crazy, or do Huddersfield have 2 former Southampton players? Because they started the game with Gineppo, and I'm pretty certain Callum Slattery was Southampton as well. And we beat Championship Huddersfield convincingly, it's got to be said. 3-1. No one gave us a chance, apparently. We were only marginal second favourites. Well, yeah, Marco Silva's in charge of them. 1 day for Dean. That's great. Another 4 weeks to 2 months. He's got a transfer arranged to Vancouver, so we won't be able to get him at the end anyway. Nick McCarthy is keeping an eye on Nacelle, of course, because he's from there. Nacelle, by the way, not really anything like sensational, but he's got the stats where it matters. I knew this was coming. This is what I said was small word. See if he can deal with it. Fixes everything. I did wonder if this was going to get beaten. Yes, £240,000 now, of course, from that. Like I predicted when we played Cambridge, as soon as we play a higher side at home, I figured that was going to get broken. This is what we've been waiting for, the draw. And I think this will actually round up today's episode. I think I'll do the 2 matches after the window closes in case there's any further comments are going towards the end of this. Arsenal draw Man City, Burnley or Bournemouth, Watford. All Premier League so far. Games to play here. Still all Premier League to Leicester, Chelsea. What's left? Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea. Stoke might not be Premier League. Aha! Home to Tottenham. So the first of the big boys then. That will definitely be a future episode by itself. And then Stoke and Swansea are both Championship. So home to Tottenham. Gate receipts would have liked away at Tottenham, but we will absolutely take it. Who are still 6th. We'll have a look at that Premier League table. Just so yep, so top 6 still top 6. Arsenal somewhat resurgent, but Norwich having a good... Norwich promoted last year again. they've been bouncing up and down, and looks like they finally capitalised on that status by getting a decent side to stay up again, because they seem to be doing okay this year. But Tottenham still top 6 then. Okay. First of the tops, Chelsea have won the last 2. What? I mean, they're 5th this season. What's happened there? All right. So this was just, like I say, this is just one match episode. So I'm just going to show you the league table, by the way. You see there, we are in 2nd now, but we do have a game in hand, so we can go top, remarkably. Oh, good lord, we can go top. Yeah, Lincoln have had a bit of a rough patch of form. Now, they do have a game in hand as well, so they can leapfrog all of these teams. Actually, no, they can't, because their goal difference is kind of... Sorry, yes, they can. 55-58. So, yeah, Lincoln can go maximum 3rd, provided we get a point at the bare minimum from our game in hand. And it's obviously not against them, because we played them twice already. But all of a sudden, we are in those positions. Nicel's having another brilliant season, by the way. Now, out of kind of nowhere, he's having a brilliant season. Dutra on 15 clean sheets. Part of our 41 goal difference. Just want to break that down a little bit more. We've conceded 18 goals and scored 59. 10 of them against Gillingham. Sorry, Gillingham. But next time round, I'll just bring you Blackpool and Walsall now, because Walsall are in that hunting pack again. So, in a weird way, that being postponed has sort of worked out quite nicely here in terms of episodes. And, well, Portsmouth are up there, but I guess the one after that will just be Tottenham to round out that week worth of content. So, yeah, Friday, it looks like Tottenham, tomorrow, Blackpool and Walsall. So, until then, ta-ra.